Hey, why do you like recording with Anchor?
Because it's easy to get us all together.
It's easy for us all to connect and put together a podcast and distribute it because we don't know anything about podcasting. That's why this podcast sounds like this.
That's why we need Anchor, to make it really easy for us.
Yeah, it's true. We honestly wouldn't be able to do this without it, I don't think, because there's so many steps involved, and just trying to get onto all the different platforms.
Not gonna edit any of this.
I don't edit anything. I pretend to. Anchor makes it so easy. So you just take your voice file, you upload it, and then you add in whatever you want to write about it. All we have to do is just hang around and talk and laugh.
That is all we do.
That's
really
it. We're so professional.
This is a fucking endorsement right here.
So yeah, make your own podcast, because I promise you, if we can do it, you can definitely do a better job than us. We are here to do the Naked Ladies podcast, and today we're sharing weird, crazy stories from the ER. And so today we have Kristen right now, and Julia, and then hopefully we'll have Amber, and who else is going to join us tonight?
Cat, I think.
Cat, okay.
Yeah.
And it's 10 o'clock at night, and we're exhausted. So.
Yes.
It might get a little punchy. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. Okay. So this one I'm going to kind of read backwards, because it's better if you save what it actually was until the end.
Okay.
And I'm drinking too, so it should get better as we go. So I'm reading from the middle of the story, and then I'm going to end with the beginning.
Okay.
When she came into the ER, she had a high fever and was draining pus on both buttocks, which were red, swollen, painful, and infected. We took her to the operating room, and because the external substance was so integrated into the tissue, within and around the fat cells, we had to make multiple large incisions on both buttocks' fat. Afterwards, her buttocks looked like she had been attacked by a bear. The only way to get rid of the infection was to fully remove the external substance. We left the incisions open and packed them with gauze. She was on IV antibiotics for nearly a week, with daily dressing changes in the hospital before leaving against medical advice and disappearing. She ultimately ended up on Tyra Banks' talk show. Any guesses?
Oh my God. What? Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
Okay. You ready for the big reveal?
Yes.
In 2009, there was a patient presented to the emergency room in Rhode Island. She had some form of hydrogel, she called it that, injected in large volume, approximately 2 liters, which is a very large quantity.
Yeah.
One into each buttock.
Oh my. Oh, so like botched injections.
I believe by hydrogel she meant some sort of silicone-based product like silicone bathroom caulk.
Oh.
The patient,
oh my word.
The patient said that she was injected by someone in Miami who claimed to be a nurse and who performed the procedure in their home.
Oh, can you imagine thinking that's a good idea at any point in your life?
I have never had any part of my body that I wanted to enlarge.
No,
enough
absolutely not.
To inject bathroom caulk into it.
Oh my. Oh yeah. If I'm walking, no, that's horrible. It's terrible.
You get to your
terrible idea.
You get to your plastic surgery appointment, and the nurse is like, pulls out a bag from Home Depot.
Oh my, yeah, seriously. Like, all I'm picturing is, like, my little hometown hardware store. And, like, them having some sketchy setup in the back.
The little old men in there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a family-owned hardware store from where I'm from, so I'm just, like, picturing, like, some family medicine. I don't know. That is crazy.
That's the story. The story of the bathroom cock butt.
Oh my god. Like, yeah, seriously, what? I mean, like, that had to have been, like, a good price.
Oh
Like,
my god.
like, oh my gosh. That's insane. That
I
is
hope she at least got one butt cheek free.
right. Buy one, get one free. Oh my word. And then she left the hospital.
Right.
She left the hospital. That is it starts out saying she didn't witness it firsthand, but she was training to be a rape crisis counselor, and basically part of that training involved a doctor coming and doing a presentation about STDs and STIs.
Oh.
So basically the doctor let me see where it's to start. Okay. A female patient came in complaining of extreme abdominal pains. The patient disclosed that she was a prostitute. The patient further disclosed that in order to continue working while she was on her period, she would put a sponge as close to her cervix as possible to absorb the blood and other menstrual-related discharge. The patient then explained she had inserted a sponge and was unable to remove it. The doctor figured it would be a routine matter of removing a foreign object that had become lodged or stuck, and takes the patient into the exam room to perform the extraction. When the doctor went to remove the sponge, it turns out the patient had been using a car washing sponge
No.
to absorb her menstrual discharge, and that same sponge had been in her vagina for 3 months.
No.
When the doctor finally managed to remove the sponge, which had turned into black semi-solidified mass
Oh.
due to excess absorption of nastiness, it also released a torrent of fluids that had been marinating in this woman's vagina for 3 months, and the fluids gushed out and nearly covered the entire floor of the exam room.
Oh.
That is what you're like. That was the selling point for me, was the fact that it covered the exam room floor. That is terrible. And then it says the doctor said it was the first time in his 20 years of practice he actually vomited while performing a medical procedure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't even imagine just like thinking that putting any sort of sponge to stop my period would be a good idea at any point, but a car wash sponge,
Oh.
that has to be the most uncomfortable. And then just going as a doctor, like, I have a little bit of an abdominal pain. No.
Oh, that poor woman. That's got to be America, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Canadians have free healthcare. They wouldn't let that happen.
No, and yeah, no. that's crazy. And like, as I was researching these, like, something that really got me was the way they talked about the smells in the room. Like, all of them, like, not all of them, but most of them I read talked about this awful stench, and I'm just like imagining the worst smell I've ever smelled.
You know, like, even just, I know this is gross, but like, you think about your own pads after a day.
Yeah.
Not even someone else's.
And for 3
months.
3 months of just period stuck
and everything.
in you.
Everything.
And she's a prostitute, so who knows what else is going on there.
My God.
Oh my word. Yeah,
that's a lot. Because I also have a vagina.
Oh, I have another vagina one.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a vagina myself, but I also have another vagina story. I think it's my next one. I do. My next one is a vagina story. How heartwarming. This one is a short one, but it's shocking. Was shadowing a doctor, deciding if I wanted to be one. Spoiler, I would not. This is me after that. Currently awaiting my interviews. And this woman comes into the ER. I go with my doctor and she's acting very strangely. The doc asks her why her here, and she says, I have leaves growing out of my vagina.
No.
We look at each other, look back at her, and both say, what? So she strips down, and sure enough, leaves. I grew up on a farm and recognize it right away, but keep my mouth shut. He puts in the speculum, says, aha, and extracts a hollowed out potato end.
Oh, no. No way.
As soon as she sees it, she's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh my, how do you forget about a potato in your vagina?
She tells us this is the same thing again, kind of similar. She and her boyfriend wanted to have sex but didn't have a condom and couldn't find her cervical cap. They got creative and made one out of a potato, and she forgot about it.
Oh my God. Oh my, okay. No. Oh my God. Can you imagine just like, well, that's strange. I have a leaf coming out of my vagina. Like how does it get, like, okay, first of all, I have so many questions.
How do you even get there?
Like, yeah, and how do you not?
Even if it's a half hour to drive to the store, I mean, it had to take at least a half hour to whittle down that potato.
Yeah, and
why
would you, how could you and your boyfriend forget? Like, how could you both just be like, oh yeah, that's fine in there. We'll just save it for next time. It's just a potato.
Just a potato.
Oh my God, that is disgusting. And then it's been in there long enough to sprout freaking leaves.
Right. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And they had to grow. I mean, she had to
oh my God, I have goosebumps right now because that is just like that. And it goes back to the smell. Like, how do you not?
Yeah.
Like, how? And then how would you even approach that? Like, I'd be like, oh, hey doc, some leaves coming out of my vagina. I think I'm growing a vine.
I don't know. If I saw leaves coming out, I think I would maybe stick my finger in there and try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I would panic hard. Like, I'd probably call an ambulance, thinking I was like turning into a tree or something. Like, what the hell? Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah, she just forgot about it. Forgot about that potato.
Oh my word. But like, out of all the things in your household, a potato is the first thing you're gonna just be like, this'll work. This'll work.
I know. It seems like so much.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then I mean, did they just not have sex again because she had potatoes growing in her vagina?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? How did they let it get that far? I mean, does it just grow really fast? Maybe I don't know what the turnaround time of a half-cut potato is in a vagina, but that's crazy.
Amber, you missed the we've had a story about someone who got a discount butt injections from someone's house that was apparently housing like silicone caulking. We had a story about someone who couldn't find her birth control, so she put a potato in her vagina and then it sprouted leaves, and that's funny.
I'm going to tell everybody that I see this story tomorrow. Like, whether they, like my boss, like, hey, guess what? I recorded a podcast last week and I talked about a potato growing out of a vagina. And she's going to ask me what I do outside of work. Oh.
Would it be like really awkward now for me to say that that was me?
Oh, if it is you, I have a lot of questions.
Thanks for joining us.
I
want to know all about it.
Oh goodness.
And then we had another vagina story that was a sponge, right? Car washing sponge.
Yeah, she was a prostitute and she went in because she was having abdominal pain, and then she told the doctors that she had a piece of sponge for her monthly cycle, and they pulled it out and it was a car wash sponge and 3 months of juice.
Oh my god. Juice.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I will be referring to it as.
Juicing?
Yes. I'll do my short one first.
Okay, do it.
Okay. I am a labor and delivery nurse. It was Christmas Day, and the doctor manually examined the patient's cervix to assess her dilation. And I guess she found it uncomfortable, so she was crying for her boyfriend. He came over and started full on making out with her while the doctor had his hand in her cervix.
Stop it. Maybe that was part of her birth plan. I don't. Oh, like, what would you do if you were the nurse, like, or the doctor? I would just be...
Yeah. The doctor would just, like, slowly remove his hand.
Just back out of the room.
My other ones aren't as funny. They're pretty gross.
Okay. Gross. Mine is spooky.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ready for spooky? It's really spooky. It's not like vagina potato. Okay. Get ready to be scared. I'm trying to get serious. I used to work in a state institute for the developmentally disabled. We were temporarily relocated to another building for remodeling of our building. Anyways, I was working one night, second shift. We had a locked PICA unit. I saw one of the residents walking down the hall, very distinct gait and very distinct yellow t-shirt with a happy face on it. I went into the ward to let staff know that they had an escapee. This was serious because this particular resident, Larry, would ingest absolutely anything, from clothes to pens to belts to, a bird's head. Literally anything. Yeah. He was also very reluctant to go back to his home ward. Hence why I didn't bring him back myself. He needed 2 escorts. When we got back to the hall, less than 15 seconds later, Larry was gone. We searched the entire building. Outside, downstairs, all wards. He was nowhere to be found. This whole search lasted more than 10 minutes because I had all extra staff looking for him. I was just about to call the house supervisor to let her know that we'd lost someone when out from the bathroom walks Larry with one of the staff. He had been getting his bath in the bathroom for the last 30 minutes or so. Kind of freaky. I absolutely, without a doubt, saw Larry in the hallway. I never would have short-staffed the wards like I did if I hadn't seen him. Like I said, very distinctive gait, look, and clothing. I took a lot of razzing that night. They all thought I was crazy. Anyways, come to find out the next day after the story goes around that I'm crazy, Larry had an identical twin brother who died in that building 10 years before.
What?
Yes. Larry.
Oh.
I'm picturing like a guy who like walks on the balls of his feet. With like a big afro, like a white guy with an afro.
Yep.
for some reason.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yes.
It's very spooky.
That's so creepy. I gotta close my curtains.
Do you think Larry's out there?
Oh,
Larry!
oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I know how you feel, though. I mean, I was reading that Golden State Killer, listening to it, the Golden State Killer book by Michelle McNamara.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never been so paranoid about having my curtains closed.
I can't, like, at night, once it starts getting dark, I have to shut them.
Like, I went outside and looked into my windows to see what you could see. Because I'm so creeped out by that book.
I still need to read it.
It's creepy. Don't do it. No, I mean, do it. But just get ready. Just get ready for a whole nother level of paranoia. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, next.
All right. Do you guys? I have a funny one. I have a sad one, and then I have a gross one.
Oh.
I told you during my downtime at work today, this is what I was doing.
Maybe let's do sad, because
That's what I was going to pick
funny.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one starts out not an ER worker, but work in a large neonatal intensive care unit. We admit a lot of babies from our labor and delivery and pick up from hospitals within 150 miles. That being said, the worst thing I've seen was due to baby formula. The baby was born completely healthy, mom was healthy, and everyone went home happy. The baby was admitted to us sometime later with multiple symptoms. After some questioning, it was discovered that the mom had been feeding the baby twice the amount of formula she was supposed to.
Oh.
I guess the mom couldn't read English very well, and when she asked someone to read the instructions on the formula, they told her the wrong amount. So every feeding the baby was getting was double the amount of nutrients and vitamins. This caused the baby to start feeling not so great, cry more often, and every time the baby cried, the mom assumed that it was hungry and would bottle feed. The cycle continued until he was admitted. At that point, it was too late, and what should have been an otherwise healthy baby ended up passing away. And this is the part that, like, broke my heart. Listening to the mom scream and howl, crying, I killed my baby, is something I'll never forget.
Oh, that's the saddest thing.
I know. I was just like, that is so, that's not something you think about.
I didn't even think you could overfeed them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary. I'm glad I didn't know that when my kids were little.
Right?
Yeah, right?
Because that's something else that I would have been terrified that I was doing.
I always thought that with breast milk, and they said you cannot overfeed a breast milk or breastfed baby, which I don't understand because you think you could. I mean, yeah, they kept saying that you could anyway, so.
Oh, the poor baby, the poor mom.
Yeah, so sad. I thought it was going to be that one. Did you guys hear that one where that woman kept giving her baby water and she didn't know that you weren't supposed to give her water? And she was like a newborn and she ended up passing away.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh,
Isn't that awful?
So scary.
Yeah. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's gross. We'll do this one. Okay. My dad is a doctor, an internal medicine physician, and in parentheses it says, if that means anything to anyone. He told me this story once of when a young man, late teens, came into the hospital with a question about a condition he was having. He said his pubic region was itchy and uncomfortable, so my dad asked him to remove his pants so he could identify the problem. Now, since the guy was African American, my dad had quite the WTF situation when the man pulled down his pants and his pubic hair was white. It turned out the guy had gotten crabs from his lover, and the little bugs had laid microscopic eggs in his pubic hair, making it look white.
No.
The mental image still gives me chills.
There were so many
Oh
eggs.
my god.
It turned the pubic hair white.
Oh my god.
That is so many crabs.
That
Do you know
is
how uncomfortable that is? That is like, I feel like he should have went a long time ago.
I mean, he must have seen the crabs, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's terrifying. That's
pretty gross.
That seems like a long-term problem.
Yeah. When I read it, it's hard to say if these things are true.
Right.
But that's pretty bad.
That's really so that's like one to put in the book of lessons learned.
Yeah.
Are we ready for penis story? We've had plenty of vaginas.
Yes.
Okay, I've got one. It's time to take on the men. Okay. This middle-aged man was experiencing terrible kidney stones. He was in such terrible pain that he didn't know what else to do. Don't do this. So he inserted a glass tube into his urethra. Okay, it gets worse. If that wasn't bad enough, as he did so, he involuntarily kegeled, causing the tube to get sucked up further into his urethra. The sudden movement caused the tube to shatter in his urethra. Needless to say, he went straight to the ER. There you go. Don't stick a glass tube in your urethra.
Oh.
That shouldn't need to be said.
No.
No. No, you're right. It shouldn't need to be said.
There is like a thing though, right? Like, I mean,
like how?
There's a thing with guys in there sticking things in the pee hole. None that I know personally. But it seems like, wasn't that like an Albert Fish thing? And aren't there like lots of weird things with pee holes?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that because I'm already worried about the weird things that I'm going to experience having a little boy. Because my brother was 2 years younger than me, but like we were close. I don't know. Like he wasn't really that weird either. Like, I mean, he did some obviously like weird boy things, but nothing like some of the stuff I've heard. And I'm like, I'm not ready. Like Alex's brothers, like he'll tell me stories about him and his brother, and I'm like, I don't know how your mom made it. Like, how is your mom sane right now? Because you guys were weird. Boys are weird, and I don't know. I have a lot of questions about that.
Okay. Can I do one more?
Go for it.
Okay. A guy. Sorry, this one's so funny. A guy came into our ER one night. When the doctor asked him to describe his problem, he reached into his bag, pulled out a sex toy catalog, pointed to a long curved toy on one of the pages. I can show you what's in there, he winked.
Oh my.
Now let's see if you can get it out.
Oh my god. Bless these doctors. Oh my word.
Okay.
How would you react? Like, I would probably just get up and walk out.
Yeah, I think I would start laughing.
Yeah, that's too much. Too much.
I don't have a poker face.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No.
So whatever I'm thinking comes straight across this face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like immediate jaw drop. For sure.
I think I'd be like, excuse me? Why? I'd probably be like, why this one and why not that one?
Oh my.
Oh.
I would nope. I realized after reading these stories there is no freaking way I could be an ER nurse or doctor.
Can we have another story?
So.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. I cut off the top of this one, so let me think about it for a second.
Just, say something.
Okay. Something about EMT training. They get a call responding from what they originally thought was a gunshot wound. Apparently, they called it over the radio as just a chest wound. They arrive at the scene, and there's a guy lying in his garage with a gaping hole through his chest. He's dead. Sorry. She's looking around the body and trying to see where the entry hole was for the bullet when she is informed by other paramedics already on the scene that there wasn't one. Oh, God. Turns out the guy was masturbating with a broom up his ass to get a good angle and really get it up there. He was doing this while standing on a stool. While on the stool, he slipped off the stool, landing on the broom that was poking out of his behind. The broom snapped inside him and a shard came out through his chest.
Holy shit! That is a lot going on in one evening.
I feel like that's a lot of work to get off.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I got a broom stuck underneath my couch once. I can't imagine.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, mine gets stuck between my fridge and my counter from time to time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine it going through your chest?
I mean, you'd have to be like alive to feel, you know what I mean? And then dead.
I mean, is it really worth it?
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, I hope at least he completed his mission. At the very least.
And we're going to hell.
Poor guy. I'm sorry.
I mean, rest in peace.
Right.
Right.
I still have lots of questions.
It reminds me of that show. What was it called? 6 Feet Under. And they'd always have these weird way that people died at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you ever saw it. It was on HBO like forever ago. And so like there was just always it was crazy situations like that.
It sounds like something I might want to watch though.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It was like a fictional.
Yeah, it was about a family who owned a funeral home.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super good.
Add that to the list.
Yeah. This is from Reddit. My all-time favorite. A lady was all gorked out on drugs and alcohol and was passed out on a gurney late one night in the ER. We had the lights dimmed and all was generally quiet. Every so often she would awaken and sing at the top of her lungs, "Don't cry for me, Argentina."
Is that how she said it?
That's how it's written.
Oh my gosh.
That's all it is. That's all there is.
The end?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, it says, I took care of a guy who had some pretty bad burns on most of his legs from stomping out a fire on his tent while camping. We bandaged him up and loaded him up on IV painkillers. His dad pulled up out front with the car while I was wheeling him out to be discharged. He was a big guy, like 6'4", and he had both legs kind of bent up on the air, resting on those wheelchair legs. So, like the rest, kind of. If you ever push a wheelchair and hit one of those threshold strips that separates two kinds of floor, then it stops your momentum. Well, after I kind of hit it and it stopped, I backed up a little bit and hit it hard enough to bump over it. However, I stopped again and dumped the poor guy forward onto the floor as his dad, who was standing just outside holding the car door, watched in horror. Dad and I had to pull him off the floor, back up to the chair as he screamed in pain. Luckily, he was pretty high from the painkillers and said it was okay. We loaded him in the car and they went on their way to the ER. I had to push the wheelchair back into the ER through a crowded waiting room full of people who witnessed the entire thing. And I'm like, I think I laughed so hard because that would totally happen to me. Like, I would be the one to dump some poor man onto the floor in front of a room full of people that are waiting in the ER.
There was one that was just like, ER nurse here. So many things in butts.
Oh my god. I'm sure the accuracy of that statement.
It said like, so many things in butts and so many excuses why. Oh, we fell on something. Oh, we, like whatever. I was like, oh, that's a great. I wish I could find it now. I just lost it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Men, just don't shove things up your butts that aren't meant to be shoved up your butt.
Okay, so I have a story.
Put something in there that's supposed to be there. Not a Barbie doll, not a cucumber.
I went to school with a guy who had put a bottle rocket.
No.
Yes. True story.
A bottle rocket lit?
Yes. Lit bottle rocket.
That's horrible.
In his bum.
Did it go off?
Yes.
Oh, this was
from what I gathered.
This was bad, right?
I just, from what I ever heard from it, he just had to put a little bum cream on his bum.
Oh. Okay.
And his mom had to do it for him, and I'm like, I don't know. I love my son, but if he's gonna be kind of, I mean, he was old enough to know better too.
We're gonna end up making like a book for all the little boys of the world. It's gonna be like the A to Z of what not to put in your butt.
Yes, we would get so famous. We would be so rich.
B is for bottle rocket.
Bottle rockets don't go in your bum. No bottle rockets.
No bottle rockets.
This story will forever haunt me. I recently took care of a woman who was in her mid-40s, paraplegic, and had a colostomy. You guys know what a colostomy bag is, or do I need to go through that again? Okay. Well, this patient is a very sick lady to begin with, but she also has a strange infection originating from her colostomy site. She was to the point of sepsis, which, again, to simplify, is not good. Turns out her husband was very seriously addicted to heroin and needed money in the worst way. So he rented his wife out.
No.
Meaning that people would pay to come over to their house and have sex with his wife in her stoma.
No.
The hole from which the feces left the body.
No.
Oh my.
Oh, isn't that awful?
Oh, that's awful.
I had to read that like 3 times because it just could not register.
No.
That's a thing?
I know, right?
Don't stick it in there.
S is for stoma.
The companion book is don't put it in there.
Oh.
Or I guess it could all be don't put it in there. Oh, who would think of that?
Yeah.
How do you
that one stuck with me.
How do you go up to your friends and be like, listen, you want a really good time? That's horrible.
Our vagina's not your thing.
Oh, that poor lady. Oh,
I know.
Gross.
She was paraplegic too, so she couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that is heartbreaking.
Oh, that's all I have.
I think that's all I have. I mean, I can find more, but that's all I have.
I have one more.
Okay, read it.
I
love this. By the way,
goes out
I could do this every week.
Oh, I know. I know. Okay, so the very last patients I saw in my internship came in with a cyst on her pubic area. I think to myself, okay, seen plenty of these, no big deal. I walk in to find a cyst the size of a jawbreaker. It was purple and practically had a face.
No.
We had 2 lancets, so we needed to give local anesthetic. When the syringe touched the cyst, the whole thing blew open with pus. The smell in the room was terrible. Upon pushing on it further, the cyst made a sound as it released more pus. It sounded like a basketball shoe on a freshly waxed gym floor.
Oh no.
The core of the cyst was about the size of a dime. And then the last sentence. Love this kind of stuff and considering going into dermatology. One of my friends loves Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh,
And she
I
always
hate Dr. Pimple
tags
Popper.
me and stuff on Facebook. And I'm like, ugh, I can't watch this. This is disgusting.
I can't stand it.
No.
Can't stand it.
No.
I've never been a pimple popper. I just can't do it.
No.
I can do it to myself, but I don't want to watch other people do it.
No.
When I was looking them up, there was a lot of like spooky stories too. That was kind of fun.
Oh,
You know.
yeah.
Like you guys had with the not the
Larry.
potato guy or
Potato vagina.
Oh.
but yeah, stuff like that was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode just on vegetables.
And where they don't belong.
Where they don't belong. Don't put that there. Thanks for listening to the Naked Ladies podcast, and feel free to leave us messages on the Anchor app.
Let us know what you think of our stories.
Yeah. And we'll see you back soon.
I'm putting my thumbs up.
Okay. Me too. We all have thumbs up.
And we're naked.
And we're naked. All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk
This
to
is
you
great.
later.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.